So, Sonisk Selskap is a brand new project celebrating the AV, significant upgrades to the AV lab at RAP that we've made over the last year or so, and upgrades to the technical infrastructure at RAP that really make RAP and the AV lab stand out as completely unique in the region, if not the country. So we'll be working, we'll have 3 iterations of Sonisk Selskap this year. The first one will be led by me as Sonic Sheriff, and then there will be 2 other Sonic Sheriffs that will lead sessions and iterations of Sonisk Selskap later in the year. The first one that I'm leading is called Global Grooves. So I'm going to invite appropriate musicians from different genres of music with a focus on different musical styles from around the world that can sort of meet and come together around intricate polyrhythmic grooves. And you know, I'm interested in kind of quite simple chord structures, quite simple bass lines. The bass will be quite important, percussion and rhythm will be very central, and there'll be room for some solos and improvisation around that. We'll be you know, having these extended jams. People can come and go, hang in the canteen for a bit, come back. There'll be some food and drink. The Global Grooves thing, well, I come from a performing arts background and I've worked with bands and my own music in many of my shows. There's always a bit of a global theme. It's really just about you know, it's influenced by spiritual jazz, deep jazz, and Cuban music, African music, lots of interesting dance, polyrhythmic dance genres. But I really hope that this will be something where, but you know, whether you're into reggae, Peruvian folk, samba, salsa, bossa nova, Asian music, Balkan music, whatever you're into, I think there's a place for you in this concept, and we will come together around grooves and explore them. And I've worked with this kind of strategy before. I think it's going to be really great. I'll talk to you a little bit more about my own musical background in a minute. First, I thought I'd just show you some slides from the AV lab and projects that have already been taking place there recently. In fact, the sound engineer, it should just be mentioned, for this Global Grooves iteration of Sonisk Selskap is Paul Rasmussen. He's a very experienced sound engineer, ran his own commercial studio in Asker for many years, where he's recorded loads of well-known Norwegian artists. So he will be on the console at the controls. He's got full talk back between his control room and the live room where we'll be. He'll have an assistant, state-of-the-art microphones, beautiful back line. It'll be a great atmosphere and a really unique opportunity to be in a studio setting like that together without really kind of the conventional pressures and sort of the sort of studio situation that people are used to when they're trying to record a very specific record, or with very kind of familiar collaborators. This is the AV lab. I'm going to go down, I'm going to press my button and go down into the bottom corner here, and excuse the shitty chroma keying. This is the AV lab, and basically, you know, because we can, that's why we're doing Sonisk Selskap. It's all about giving people unique opportunities in Bergen, bringing people together in a different setting with some new challenges. It's about being open-minded and celebrating the opportunities that are provided by this largely publicly funded initiative. with great equipment and facilities. So this is a production anyway that was here last year. It was called Crimpa na Clúda. It was shown at Borealis last year. This is a couple of musicians that were recording music quite recently for a dance performance called Butch Tribute. They were in Studio A, which is, you know, a great place for songwriting, critical listening, post-production. You can set up a drum kit. You can work there with musicians, small ensembles very easily. But it's also a place where people do a lot of different kinds of stuff. Here's a guy, John Andrew, who had a residency here in the summer, composing an opera with Finn Juncker. Podcast production, Eventyr'i Parkin. That's all Studio A. Studio B is for big. These are autonomous rooms. They work by themselves. We're not a commercial studio. We won't be trying to compete with commercial studios or doing any of that stuff. We will be sticking to wacky, crazy projects like Sonisk Selskap and productions like this. Studio like this one here, which was Transiteatret. This was a Lutepost for their project 030838 Tillstander av Undantag. Here from that again, and here you just see that they also produced their main show Tillstander av Undantag partially in Studio B. There's enough space there to work with scenography, and here's another project, listening in surround, Bergen Impro Storband, Mari Kvien Brunvoll composing for Speaker Park, which was presented at Borealis last year or the year before. There's the installation, part of the installation anyway. This is just a video that shows basically some of the digital infrastructure and patch possibilities, albeit not very clearly right now. I don't know how to fast forward or anything. But there are lots of patch possibilities. This is from a workshop where we were recording drums for Speaker Park, amongst other things. Just interesting because of all the cables. We've got loads of inputs and outputs, both analog and digital, and lots of different patch possibilities over network, and 128 channels of uncompressed audio in and out. Lots of different monitoring possibilities, etc., etc. This is the original music studio that we had when we moved into this building here in Mölndalsveien. You used to come in through that door and then walk across the whole room to the other side to get to the large project room, and it wasn't very well insulated, so it had problems. We made a lot of great recordings there. Some of you will remember it, but now we have the AV lab. This is so it's just to illustrate that rap has always had a music studio. We've always had people producing music there. Sonisk Selskap is inspired by many, many years of music production and experimental music projects. This is a band in the old studio where we had a forerunner to Sonisk Selskap, actually, which was called Sonic Circle. I think if I click on it, it will play a track that we recorded there during Sonic Circle, which it'll just be randomly playing in the background, and it's quite a long track, so I can't really skip because I'm trying to make the video quickly. Anyway, E Capito in the original rap. Here they are again in there. That's a picture of some people actually at a Sonic Circle event. I think the text says Sonic Circle, the pre-runner to Sonisk Selskap, and I'm in that picture just to prove that I was there. We had a transitional phase doing Sonic Circle. We did it 1 year during the move into our new space here. We rented this studio at the Steiner School. which has a great piano. Torolf did the sound. There's the studio setup that we had there. And this is, so this is one of my shows. This is the first show actually where I put together a 4-piece band based on, you know, and worked very much sort of inspired by Sonic Circle actually with this band, playing them sketches of grooves that I had made in the studio. And basically just, and this is how I would like to work with Global Grooves. I will come with grooves that I already have. There'll be multi-track recordings, so I can solo and mute. I can do a whole sort of Lee Scratch Perry dub thing with them, so they'll be interactive, and I'll just mute them when people are into them. If people get into them, I'll mute them gradually and let people just jam, riff along on them. It doesn't matter if people simplify the groove or adapt the groove to suit their playing style. That's kind of the point. That is what I will be doing for Global Grooves. And you know, if they're not working, we'll know very quickly. I'll have a whole bag load of these grooves of mine, and we'll just go through them. And what works, what doesn't work, we'll just jump over it. It's that simple. Then there might be moments where I've gone to the toilet and somebody starts banging on a drum, and that turns into some kind of groove, and you know, I don't have to be the one that initiates everything necessarily. Things can happen organically. That's also great. My job's as much about making a nice atmosphere and yeah, making sure everyone has what they need as anything else. But I'll play a little bit from this, or I'll click on it. You know, here it goes. You can hear the 4-piece band here. Abdullah and Safia. I had a residency in Mali. Abdullah and Safia that are in this performance. They're not musicians or dancers, but they came over and they were in the show. Just gives you an idea, you know, obviously the music is not Malian. I made the grooves in Bergen, the band, it sort of ingested the grooves and made it their own. It is what it is, you know, but it's something I think, you know, if you wanted to add a Balkan flavour to it, if you wanted to add some Asian flavour to it, the groove is so simple and basic that you could do that. That's really what my Global Grooves concept is about. So this is another show that I made. This is, I think, the show after Sir Global Rights and his Wireless Crew that you just saw, also with a 4-piece band. I wish I could skip because this is not the most exciting part of the groove. Yeah, but you know, you get the idea. This is where I'm coming from anyway. Very simple grooves that people can play with. So it's kind of, I also say about my own music, but it's kind of hip-hop, because hip-hop is always adapting these sort of funky, groovy things and recontextualizing them, but we'll be doing that with live musicians. Couple of other illustrations of the type of groove that I think I'll be bringing with me. I might not bring these particular grooves with me, but this is one inspired by a Cigar Box guitar that I got a few years ago. So it's called Cigar Box Riff. I just wrote Sahara Blues there because it's very obvious to me that that's what it's inspired by, and quite close to. The Cigar Box guitar's got 3 strings and reminds me of an Ngoni lute, you know, from sub-Saharan Africa. Another thing that another groove was this one was a commission for Global Hälsa that were launching a new organisation at Universitetsaula, and they bizarrely headhunted me to make a little intro video, and with it I took the opportunity to make this groove for that video. So it's called Pounding Song. It's a sample from, anyway, another sort of African-inspired kind of thing. These are the sorts of things I work on, and I will have some more hip-hoppy kind of Western sort of grooves, and I'll have some different material. So that's all from me, folks. I think you now understand lots about Sonisk Selskap. I hope you agree that this will be a very exciting opportunity to come along and do the performance. Okay, well, there's going to be a performance. That's going to be at Søndagskrydderiet. I mean, wow. Why wouldn't you? I hope you've got time. I hope you like the sound of it. Take care.